Hello everyone! As you might know, high school is a tough place. Once we finish this grind of studying, we are suddenly forced to decide our entire future. What do we want to become? What kind of work would we like to do for the rest of our lives? Or maybe the idea of going straight into college after all those years of high school just kills you. Some of the biggest life decisions come near the end of high school, and we are pressured into thinking we must decide at once. Especially at this age of around 16 to 19 with our entire lives ahead of us, it is near impossible to already have a clear sight of our future. This doesn't have to be the case, however, because you can take a free year off. If you're not yet considering taking a gap year, let me try to convince you as to why you should. Our biggest influences in this world come from three different things. The first being our personal environment, such as friends, the people we hang around with and socialize with. The second are our parents and how we are taught things by them. And the third being school and how we are taught things by our teachers. One of the most common things we are told as we grow up is that it is the most normal thing and important thing for everyone to get a degree, work 8 hours a day and find a partner to get old with, get some kids and, the standard life. And unless you happen to have parents who were brought up with a different mentality, it is likely that they will try to put their way of thinking onto you as well, just like they were taught. But life can be so much greater than this. Unfortunately, this isn't what we get taught in school either. We are prepared to become the ones that work on someone else's dream and helping our community in some sort of way. This is why most people never think about reaching higher. But you shouldn't forget that it is your life, and what you make of it is your choice, not someone else's. You have to be able to figure out what you want, how you want it, and when you want it. However, going to school every day and having tons of homework leaves no room for you to explore any of this. This is why I recommend a gap year as a year to find all of your wants and needs in life. Really be able to figure out what kind of goals you want to achieve and start working on them. So let's discuss some pros. The first pro of taking a year off is that you can first-hand experience what it's like to work 40 hours a week. This will help to build a stronger mentality towards working hard and grinding. Another pro would be learning to handle bigger amounts of money. This helps to find out your priorities, how to save up money, or to start investing in something like stocks or your own business or anything that you find important. It's also important to find out whether you like certain work or not. Perhaps your dream job isn't what you thought it would be, or you find something else you would much rather do. I've experienced this for myself. I am currently in my second year off. Having taken one off before, followed by a failed study year, I can very clearly see the things I've done wrong in my first year off. I want to share this with everyone so you can cut your learning curve and make less mistakes than I did when you take a gap year. The first mistake I made was not getting a job from the start. I turned 18 during the summer break, which meant I got my first adult responsibilities and bills to pay. It wasn't much at the start, but I still needed money. I started with a small amount of work through an employment agency that sent me out. I just wanted to enjoy the freedom I had for the first time in my life, go out and party a lot and simply said waste my time. Looking back, this was a huge mistake. I really wish I hadn't done this. I wish I had went for at least like a stable job that would give me a few days a week at minimum. This would have given me the chance to save up for things like my study or a driver license and much other great stuff that I want now. That's why on my second year off I immediately got a job and started saving up for the things that were important to me. And I moved out of my parents' house at the same time, which also forced me to need a full-time job. Another route many will choose is traveling. It's something everyone loves to do, or wants to do. Exploring this wonderful world can greatly inspire what you want to do with your life or who you would like to become. Many are, however, held back by the idea that this will cost a fortune. But trust me, it is possible even when you're hella broke. You have to look for opportunities and grab them. It involves some risk, but that's the most meaningful way of doing it, really. It does take some creativity, but it broadens your horizon and way of thinking. When you run into a problem, find a solution and make it an opportunity. One option would be to volunteer in another country. Depending on where and for what cause, you can get it partially funded by the company you're volunteering for. If that's not what you want to do, you could start an Instagram page for traveling or make a blog and try to get crowdfunded for your journey. What about instead of going by airplane, you hitchhike with other people to get as far as possible? There are many other options left as well, but one thing is for sure, this isn't for the weak of heart. It takes a lot of determination to travel without any security, so to say, so make sure you plan out everything with a lot of detail. You can't just go to Egypt and then realize, I'd rather quit. Another self-improvement option would be to take a course in gaining a new asset. How about learning a new language? Or perhaps studying on real estate, investments or other money-making opportunities. One of the greatest advantages we have as humans is that we can always learn more, and the deeper we dive into a new subject, the more beneficial it will be for the rest of our lives. Money becomes less valuable over time, so instead of trying to save up more and more money only to spend it in the end, you could learn about investing it to grow more money over time. If you end up creating a new money stream that earns a small monthly income for the rest of your life that takes minimal upkeep, even if it's not a lot, you will always have more than when you have saved up for a new watch, car or any other luxury item. The more time you spend on learning this in your gap year, the better you'll get at it and the more you will make. But in the end, it is important to look at what you want to do and become and learn new skills based on improving on that goal. However, if you've already decided on your future, or at least for the most of it, then you need to find a niche that makes you happy and focus your spare time on it, or even make an outlet for yourself. Making YouTube videos, a blog, Instagram page or anything else in which you can inspire others with your dreams will help nourish your passion. It doesn't even matter how many people follow that journey with you, as long as it is something you truly love, it will always be worth documenting it, even for yourself to look back at it years later. There are of course some cons you have to consider before deciding on a gap year. Working might be one of them for many. Although I mentioned it earlier as a pro, working full-time can be really taxing and difficult, especially if you're not used to it. It does really build up your character, but compared to going to school a few hours a week, working 40 hours is a lot more to handle. If you already have money to spare or you still live with your parents, you could just consider working part-time so you can still enjoy a lot of the spare time you have. Another con that you're having is that you miss a year from your study. If your goal is to finish college as soon as possible, then that gap year might not be for you. You do extend the time by another year after all. Do consider that you should be absolutely sure on your study choice if you do this. If you end up doing a study you don't enjoy after all and end up dropping out halfway through, it results in a much bigger loss than if you would have taken the gap year from the start. I've learned that the hard way myself. Definitely take all these things in consideration when deciding on whether or not you should take a gap year. I hope you learned some cool things from this video. I tried my best to elaborate on the subject using some knowledge from others, but mostly my own from the past 2 gap years I've had. If I did miss something, post it down in the comments down below so I can improve upon the video. If you learned something and enjoyed the video, please do leave a like as it motivates me to make more of these type of videos. And also be sure to subscribe, click the notifications and be the first to watch my new upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.